Coming up on California Bountiful, avocado oil, ranch fresh eggs, a mountain of mushrooms, we've got wine, and backyard fine dining.
Hello and welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Aubrey Aquino. California is known for a lot of things, but one of my favorite things about California are the Haas avocados. And I am standing in an avocado grove where they are growing Haas avocados behind me. But these babies are going to be made into the only avocado oil in the entire United States.
California avocados require the richest of rich soil, fresh coastal breezes, and of course, that warm California sun.
We don't care the size of the avocado. They can have blemishes. They can be on the small side. We don't discriminate. We've used, I would say, 99% Haas avocados. There's advantage to Haas. Obviously, it's become really popular for thick skin, so it's easy to handle, doesn't break up, and even when you're pressing oil, you don't want them to break up when you're washing them and all that. And the oil has really good quantity of oil.
Sid DeSilva and his family are the originators of Avocado, the very first to produce avocado oil anywhere in the United States.
I think it was 1 year after we moved in, we had a real wet year, and the grove produced avocados that was an incredible amount, and we couldn't get a good price for it. So we started thinking, well, we're going to hedge this. We're going to take the excess and make something out of it. Oil, of course, was the obvious choice at the time. And we looked around, and there was nobody in the country, much less California, making oil. So we said, well, this is something we probably could ease into and start exploring. We pressed for the first time, I believe it was like August 2006.
Now, nearly 2 decades later, their avo oil is still flowing.
There's definitely been an uptick in demand for the avocado oil compared to when we started out, where nobody even knew. In fact, people asked me, what is avocado oil? They didn't know. But compared to that time, the uptick in demand for avocado oil it's been off the charts. It's not a seed oil, it's a fruit. It comes from a fruit, so it's what I consider a good fat, high in monounsaturated fats, which is a good thing for your health. And it has one characteristic that a lot of the oils are missing, which is it's capable of withstanding high temperatures when you cook it. You can't press a hard avocado. The avocados have to be ripe to start with. Once the avocados are eating ripe, then we start the process. We basically wash the avocados, and then they go into a machine that's called a deep pitter. A deep pitter, all it is paddles that knock the seed out of the avocado. The skin comes apart, the pit comes apart, and there's this mesh around the paddles that basically pushes all the paste into a big vat. And it's called a kneading vat. The paste sits there for a certain amount of time to help release the oil. So once that's done, we have another centrifuge. It takes all the liquids from the decanter and it basically polishes the oil. It separates all the water out and you get pure oil.
Avocado also delivers a personal touch in each of its homegrown California avocado products.
We are in the Avocado processing facility, so there's 2 parts to it. One where we actually process the avocado oil, and we're on the finish side. And we do everything by hand. So we bottle here, we label by hand. Our oil is a raw, unfiltered, unrefined oil. So you get that flavor, which sometimes people are used to a really bland oil. This is the real stuff. This is the good stuff. Originally, we pressed the avocado oil and threw organic lemons in with the avocados. And we did the same thing with the lime. And we've got garlic, we've got jalapeno.
Plus, they've added other items to their avocado offerings, too.
Avocado oil on the skin is actually, it'll absorb into your skin better than any oil I've seen. And we make this really cool handmade soap. That's pure avocado oil with just California sea salt. We also make hand creams, pure body oil, and you can use that on your body or your hair.
So one of the most amazing things about being a part of a family business and being able to watch it from the ground up is you get to be a part of all the grunt work. And it is so much more rewarding because when you get to see that storyline, that passion comes through when you get to meet people on the other end of the table and show them the avocado oil.
California Grown Spotlight.
My name is Mark Hashagan. I am co-owner of Blue Door Winery. I'm also the winemaker. We are a family-owned business. My best friend and I started the company. Now my wife and I run it. We are currently in the San Diego location. This is the winery itself. We have a tasting bar up front where folks can taste the wine, have a glass of wine. But this is the production area of our business. Macro bins are stacked up here. Harvest is finished now, but those go to the vineyards where we bring the grapes down here. We crush, press, ferment, age, everything here. The vineyards we're working with are in Ramona, Escondido, Fallbrook, and we go as far north as Santa Barbara County. So what you're going to see when you're here is all of the barrels that are aging, and you're going to see it's only French and Italian reds. We do make a sangria. That's our tip of the hat to the Spanish. But you're welcome to, when you're here in the winery, you can grab your glass of wine, walk around, see what we're doing. That's here in San Diego. We have a second location, which is actually up in Julian, up in the mountains. Julian's known for the gold mine. It's famous now, of course, for apple pie. People come to Julian for the day, see the snow, get some pie, stay in a cabin, go out to the lake. We make everything. Everything that is coming out of these barrels is what I fermented, punched down, added nutrients to, pressed, crushed, often picked the grapes myself, usually with friends, usually with wine club members, they come help out. People should know about us that we're not buying bulk wine. We're not buying anything in bulk. We're making everything that's coming out of these barrels. Every wine you taste, every bottle you buy will be made by Blue Door Winery. So Blue Door Winery, it's my mom's painting. It's up a door in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And in New Mexico is where I met my wife. And it's where Charlie's from. So they had a nice New Mexico sort of feel to it. And it's my mom's painting, and it just clicked. And when you're here in San Diego and also in the Julian tasting room, you'll see lots of New Mexico touches, whether it's like chili ristras, latillas, which is New Mexico coyote fencing. You'll see some nice New Mexico touches, which is kind of fun. San Diego County is actually where growing grapes for the purpose of making wine started in California. I think a lot of people come because of the weather. The weather is pretty much 12 months a year fantastic. There are a number of urban wineries like us. Even though San Diego's on the drink scene is really known for breweries, you will find some good wineries, good wines, and talented winemakers.
Later in the show, we get a little mushy on our visit to an organic farm growing dozens of varieties of shrooms.
I love eating this mushroom right out of the back.
And up next, see if this longtime family-owned and operated egg ranch is all it's cracked up to be.
When you're buying eggs here, they're sometimes hours old to a day old.
California Bountiful is brought to you by the California Farm Bureau.
You know, Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also debating Manning. And honestly, this might be my best sport.
I would argue that it's not.
I think it might be.
No, it's not.
Is to.
Is not.
Is to.
Is not.
Is to times infinity, no take-backs.
You can't do no take-backs.
That's debatable. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
California Farm Bureau's all-new podcast, Voice of California Agriculture, is streaming now. Tune in for the latest farm and food news, legislative updates, and more. Listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can also visit cfbf.com to access the podcast links.
When you choose California grown, you're a part of something good. Sound too good to be true? Not at all. It sounds responsible. We lead the nation in sustainable measures, plus some of the highest worker pay and protections. It sounds diverse, with 400 plus specialty crops produced statewide. And it sounds fresh because it was grown right here. Learn more at californiagrown.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I'm so excited. I'm in Lakeside at Hilliker's Ranch Fresh Eggs. They've been a San Diego County staple since 1942. Come with me inside as I find out if they're all that I think they're cracked up to be.
Family owned and operated since 1942, Hilliker's Ranch Fresh Eggs produces cage-free vegetarian eggs.
The farm started with my grandparents, Frank and Josephine Hilliker, went to my father, and now it's owned by my sister Laura and myself. We've been producing eggs for San Diego for over 80 years. It's been a very humbling experience. We really enjoy what we do. I take a lot of pride in being a farmer. I'm one of 1.2% of the nation that feeds the nation and half the world, right? So that's a really big thing. I really take that to heart. We sell our eggs all over San Diego to stores and restaurants and to other distributors. We have no problem getting rid of our product. We're moving it all the time. But some of my favorite ways to sell the eggs are right here at the farm, at our farm store. There's nothing better when the community comes in and they purchase a dozen or a flat or a couple flats of eggs. It's great.
You see them coming right down the ramp right there, so you know they're fresh.
What's really good is that the community supports us so heavily. We really like to support the community. We're involved in Little League. We're involved in 4-H. We're involved in Future Farmers of America. The fire department has a pancake breakfast. We supply the eggs. Anything we can do to help in the community, we give back a lot, and it's really important to us. Philanthropy is part of our mission.
At Hilliker's, their girls live in cage-free aviaries where they can roam and mingle safely.
There's nothing better than I like to be able to come in here early in the morning with my cup of coffee and just walk through the hen house. And all the girls have just woken up. They're starting to eat their breakfast and they're kind of singing in the morning. And they're starting to lay their eggs and it's just very peaceful. I love their inquisitive nature. If you sit and watch a chicken, they're very social. They run in like little packs. A chicken can only recognize like maybe 40 or 50 other chickens. And then sometimes when one chicken from one group gets mixed in with another group, there might be a little squabble until that chicken leaves. And it happens. It happens. It's really interesting to watch. They have tons of fresh water every day. Each building drinks about 550 gallons of water a day. Each building eats a little over a ton of feed a day. First feeders will turn on at just after 4 in the morning. And that's like their early breakfast. And then they'll get their second and third breakfast. And then they'll get their first and second lunch. And then they'll get their afternoon tea. And then they'll get their supper. So they get fed several times a day. When they go eat, you know, they're producing eggs. It helps with the egg production.
It's part of the routine to collect and process by washing, weighing, and packing for optimal quality and freshness.
You're going to get a fresh product, number one. When you're buying eggs here, they're sometimes hours old to a day old. Maybe 2 days old, but they're super fresh. And you know, by the time you're buying them in the store, you can't get eggs that fresh in the store. We have a super fresh product, and people like being able to come to the farm and buy eggs directly at the farm. Also, one thing's for sure is that because you're coming directly to the farm, you know, it's a little bit easier on the pocketbook. With all this inflation we've had, this and that, we sell our eggs pretty reasonably.
But above all, it's the pride of carrying on the family's legacy.
What I'm really proud of is the fact that I'm producing something and I guarantee it with my name. My name's on that product. If there's a problem with it, I want to know. I wouldn't put our family name on something and not take a lot of pride in it. It means a lot to me. I think it's great that we can have our family name on thousands of packages that go out every day. And that's what I'm proud of. And our team strives to do that every day. Everybody understands. Everybody's on the same page.
Still to come, a crop that's cute as a button and a little fungy too.
This is the reason why people use it for chicken nuggets, because it shreds, see? See that?
But first, an uber unique, first of its kind, fine dining experience.
I want to tell people Indonesia is very friendly, it's very family.
Delivering distinct Asian flavors being cultivated and served in a San Diego backyard. This is California Bountiful.
Did you know Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company? They're one of America's largest financial services companies too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also Peyton Manning.
It's lovely, Peyton.
Did you say Peyton or Peyton?
Peyton.
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 Great work.
Thank you. For your insurance and financial needs, Peyton, Nationwide is on your side.
The California Farm Bureau has protected the diverse agricultural interests in the Golden State for over a century. As part of the California Farm Bureau, you'll add your voice to the combined strength of over 34,000 farmers, ranchers, and families through our state. That means more connections, more influence, and more opportunity to fight for the issues that impact your life. With your support behind us, California Farm Bureau's robust government affairs, federal policy and farm PAC, and legal teams work tirelessly to advocate at all levels of government, protecting and promoting our shared way of life. Together, California Farm Bureau and our members are standing up for farmers, ranchers, and families throughout the Golden State every day, working to cultivate a bountiful future for all Californians.
I'm standing in front of an Indonesian rice house. This structure was brought all the way from Asia and reconstructed in this San Diego backyard, where it serves as the anchor for a one-of-a-kind home restaurant dining experience. And lucky us, we're gonna go in for a taste.
One of a kind may be the most accurate way to describe this intimate, fine dining experience, tucked away in a residential neighborhood. And seating for this multi-course dinner is limited to 6 at a time, so interested parties must sign up for an invite to a seat at the table. Their menu is seasonal, changes monthly, and many of the ingredients are grown just steps from where the dishes are both cooked and served, since this is also San Diego's first fully legal Meadow home-based restaurant.
This is also the green beans.
Oh, wow.
It's the red green beans.
I didn't know what that was.
Yes, it's the red green beans. Yeah, I use
This is the green bean.
Yes,
but it's red.
Beans. Like this is the type of arugula that little different.
I guess it's nice. You don't have to
I can
run out to the store.
Exactly.
You just go out to the yard.
Yeah, and for sure.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah, and for sure it was organic.
Okay,
you know,
that's my contribution.
Even the flowers. You see that all the flowers, I put it as a decoration.
Chef Ree learned to cook from her father, then continued honing her culinary craft in the U.S., elevating her dishes into edible works of art that tell a story.
My menu is always 6 course. It's always changing every month. It's always travel throughout Indonesian island. Like example, the appetizer for this month, it was from Jakarta, from Java Island. The seafood course, it was from Papua. The main course from Bali.
It's interesting because, you know, this is a home-based restaurant.
Yes.
And I'm like in your kitchen, the
Yes.
same kitchen
Yes.
that you also cook for your family.
Yes, this is the heart of the house. Food, you know, bring the family together.
And it's also where Chef adds authentic details onto each plate. Before long, Chef Ree invited me to take a seat at the table in the Rice House, while her husband Dave hosts and handles restaurant service.
For our first course, this is called Perkedel Jagung, or Indonesian corn fritter. We use fresh organic corn that chef strips off the cob. It's placed in a homemade batter using herbs grown here in the garden, and that's dropped in hot oil and fried up to the golden medallion you see before you.
However, this plate was truly dressed to impress.
So this is our main course. This comes from the island of Bali. This is called babi guling. It's a very traditional style of suckling pig that's been slow roasted for 6 to 8 hours. Next to that, going clockwise, we have urap. That's a mixed blanched organic vegetables, mostly grown in the garden, along with some fresh shredded coconut. The white rice will have hints of coconut and pandan leaf. Then we have babi satay that's first barbecued, and then it is drizzled with a traditional Indonesian sweet soy sauce. So we hope you enjoy your main course. We like to say salamat makan or bon appetit. Okay?
Thank you.
I want everybody who come over here, either who they are, strangers or not, I always telling them at the end of the dinner, I say, thank you for coming, because from a strangers we don't know, become a friend, and a friend become a family. So welcome to Warung RieRie family.
Straight ahead, it's time to explore an innovative farm tucked into the mountains of Escondido. We'll be right back.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Peyton Manning. I'm also Calculating Manning. Yep, math checks out.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I tell my son, I love you every single day.
I love you.
Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Hey everybody, it is time to get fungi. We have discovered one of only 2 mushroom farms in the entire state of California that organically grow cremini mushrooms. These guys are cute as a button.
Tucked into the rolling hills of Escondido is the Mountain Meadow Mushroom Farm. A certified organic producer and manufacturer of fresh specialty mushrooms.
Back in the days, we only grew one type of mushroom, which is white button mushroom. Cremini is the same mushroom, the brown mushroom, but for the most part, it was 100% white mushrooms that we were growing. Now, ever since COVID, we went from the one variety to 18 different types of mushrooms. From your culinary mushrooms like lion's mane, beach mushrooms, king trumpet, to the medicinal mushrooms like reishi, turkey tail, and cordyceps.
Their goods are grown from a regenerative loop of agricultural waste diversion to nutrient-rich compost produced on the farm.
We're 100% organic. We became pesticide-free 3 years before we became organic. And one of the unique aspects that we have here is that we take the waste from other places, such as the racetrack, green waste from other people, and then we turn it into a usable form. In this case, mushrooms that could be consumed in a culinary way, or medicinal mushrooms. So we close the entire loop of this green waste, instead of going to our landfills, we divert it and bring it here. People that have used our compost, once they try it, they can't stop coming.
Now at 18 different varieties of mushrooms and counting, Mountain Meadow Mushrooms is getting really fungy with it.
So right here is what we do for our liquid cultures to propagate our mushrooms, because mushrooms, you can't just grab a seed and grow mushrooms. You have to go from the spore, and we're just spinning them so they don't become matted on the top and then they'll die. But this is the actual root system, if you will, and the tree, but in the mushroom form, that we suspended in liquid, and then you can make a lot of spawn out of one jar. We have two different types of growing mediums that we utilize. One is a composted material for the cremini mushroom, the white mushroom, and the other one is we have our formula where we use materials and then we sterilize that medium, and then we grow our mushrooms out of there. Mushrooms like the reishi, those are woody type of mushrooms. They like to decompose wood, so we use hardwoods to grow those. Whereas the cremini mushroom, white mushroom, we use straw from the racetrack to make a compost and then grow the mushroom. Everything's done here, so we're 100% vertically integrated, from making our own cultures, our own spawn, our own bags, growing them here, packaging them, and then sending them out.
Tastes like mushroom.
The stem has more flavor than the cap. Mushrooms are very fascinating. They can do anything from cleaning the environment to cleaning your body because they're very helpful in many forms, and just the fascination of how they do it and in a simple form that is just amazing.
There's also one variety in particular that he favors, lion's mane.
That's the one I love the most. Every week, every month, there's more and more demand for lion's mane. Not only does it help with your cognitive skills, it helps with Alzheimer's. We have personal anecdotes where it has helped my wife's cousin's parents with Alzheimer's, diabetes, gut. If I had to pick one mushroom, that will be one of them that's up in the top.
He also supports mushrooms' growth beyond his farm.
Mushroom growing over the years, it has dwindled because it's harder and harder to grow mushrooms. There are so many small farms in the area within 100, 200 miles that we do support. They don't have the same equipment that we have. We can help them by providing the grow bags. They grow their own mushrooms and then they can sell them within their own area, where it's not just us that are growing, but we're also allowed other smaller farms to grow. But over the years, there's probably about 5 or 6 smaller, probably the size of this, where they grow, a couple 100 pounds a week. We like to see that because that means more and more people are demanding for fresh mushrooms, and we like to support them and help them in any way we can.
And that's all the time we have for this episode. Thanks for watching. You can also keep up with us online at CaliforniaBountiful.com. Until next time, take care and have a great week.